Yes.
Are you recording?
Yes.
This is actually our second take, everybody. Turns out we weren't recording last time. Sorry about that. You're going to miss out on some of the liquids. Anyways, we're making buttermilk pancakes today here from scratch. Welcome, audience, by the way. This is how a lot of people make pancakes here in the States. They use a pre-boxed mix, okay? So here, these are, this is waffles, but we actually use that for pancakes. So anyways, all you need to do with this box is you add in the number of ingredients that it says, and then you put water, eggs, and oil in, and that's it. And then you mix it up and you're ready to go. It's pretty quick. That's how people make pancakes so quickly here. These are same thing, but these are with wheat, okay? I don't think we've ever had these before. Have we, Sexy Assistant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have.
Multiple times, yeah.
We've actually eaten these before and they're delicious. So that's always an option for pancakes. However, if you're going to make pancakes from scratch, that's what we'll be doing today, okay? I already dumped in some of the ingredients in our last what I wish was our video. So I'll just kind of run through what I did in that video. I had all my liquids set aside. This was buttermilk. I'm halving the recipe, so I'm going to cut the recipe in half. It called for 3 cups of buttermilk, so I'm going to do a cup and a half. No idea how many milliliters that is, okay? Oh, actually, it'll say on here. Somewhere around 400 milliliters, okay? Then it called for a half a cup of milk. We used whole milk, and that would be approximately 75 milliliters. And I had a little too much in here, so I put it in a different container and threw that in. Okay, I caught it last minute. Then I melted our butter. I melted our butter in the microwave, and then I dumped it in. Okay? Then, let's see, what did I add after that? Oh, then I did eggs. The recipe called for 3 eggs. Since we're having it, we need 1.5. Not exactly doable, so we put in 2 eggs. And I put the eggs off to the side for now. Okay? Then I just got done putting our flour in. Oh, I'm sorry. I beat our liquids up to mash up the eggs. Okay? I said this in the last video, but I'm putting it all in one. I'm putting it all in one container because we're gonna cook them immediately. Okay? In fact, we have bacon cooking right now, right over here. Bacon cooks on a very low heat, and it can cook for quite some time. We cook almost exclusively on cast iron. Here's our cast iron skillet, and here's our cast iron pan. Okay? They're very heavy. They're also made in the USA. I'm sorry. I'm just so off because we had tried. This is our second attempt. So there was a glitch with the camera. Anyways, okay. So now we're on sugar. The recipe calls for. Just give me one sec here. This my recipe book here went dead. This is my wife's phone. This isn't my phone. Right now we're going to do 3 tablespoons of white sugar. We're actually going to substitute brown sugar for that today, okay? We're going to substitute all brown sugar for that. That's what I decided in executive decision. Here's our white sugar. We really don't use it all that often. For our ice cream later tonight, we're going to be using organic white sugar, okay? So the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons, so I'm going to cut that into 1.5. A tablespoon in America is bigger than a teaspoon. Actually, I would imagine that's worldwide. Here's a tablespoon. Here's a half of a teaspoon. We used our teaspoon last night, so you can kind of just double that. Okay. So, anyways, now we're going to be putting in our sugar. We need 1.5 tablespoons. Sorry. Here's 1 tablespoon, and I'm just going to wing it and call this a half. Okay. I'm a big fan of winging it. Now we are on to 3 teaspoons of baking powder. This is baking soda. This is baking powder. Both very similar, but yet they're different. I'm going to let my assistant zoom in on the textures of them. Actually, very, very similar in texture appearance. One of them, I believe, has a lot more salt in it. And I believe it's baking... yeah, baking soda has about 3 times as much salt. Okay.
Sifter. Use the sifter.
Oh yeah, we're going to sift this stuff here. Okay. So the reason why we're going to sift it is because we don't want any clumps in our baking soda or baking powder. They can be hard to beat out later. okay? Because it's kind of a sticky substance. So we need 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So that translates to 1.5 teaspoons. Yeah, here's what I mean. It's all clumpy. Okay, now this stuff here, since it's salty, we want to make sure we get the exact amount. Hold on, we're going to take a pause and we'll be right back. All right, so we need 3 teaspoons of this baking powder, and all I have is a half. So I'm going to do 6 of these. I'm actually going to cut that in half. What? I'm going to do 3 of these, okay? I'm going to do 3 of these halves to give us 1.5, okay? I'm going to put them in our sifter, and then I'm going to squish it up. Here, assistant, zoom in on this sifter here so that the audience can see what we're talking about by clumps. See these little tiny clumps in here? We don't want those clumps. They're going to be really hard to beat out later. So what I'll do here is I will squish it through the sifter with my utensil here, okay? I'm just going to put it all in there and I'll squish through later. There's 2, and here's our 3rd. Now, since this is a salty product, we want to make sure that we're right on the button. All right, I need 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. So that's going to be 3/4 teaspoon. Here's our flat teaspoon here. This is baking soda now. This was a 1/4 teaspoon here. Now we need some salt. It is calling for 3/4 teaspoon salt, so we're going to cut that in half. So we need, I'm just going to put in 1/4 and leave it a little short on salt.
Don't put the salt in the sifter.
And we're not going to put the salt in the sifter. It's too granulated. Here's our salt. It's kind of very granulated, okay? We're just going to throw that in our mix. Bam. All right. Now we're going to squish stuff through our sifter. What we want to do here is make sure that we get all the clumps out. We don't want any clumps in our batter.
Kind of spreading out over the flour. What you're trying to do is mix your powders in this one bowl.
All right, so next we're going to go ahead and stir. Now the recipe for this says do not over stir, okay? I'm just going to double check that we have all of our ingredients in. We have all-purpose flour, we have sugar, we have baking powder, baking soda, salt, buttermilk, milk, eggs, and butter. Okay, cool.
Add vanilla.
Oh, and we're going to add just a tiny bit of vanilla. We really like vanilla here. So, I read online that vanilla is very expensive in Europe. This is a Mexican vanilla. It's an extract. Very sweet, but delicious. This is what we would put in our ice cream naturally. So I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla is a strong flavor, so you really don't want to go too overboard on it. All right, there's our vanilla, and we're going to go ahead and stir now. So I have my whisk and my bowl, and I'm stirring. Maybe you could zoom in on this here, Miss Assistant. Okay, I want to make sure that I get everything off of the sides naturally. And the recipe says that we want this to be clumpy, okay? That strong smell that's coming off of this is the buttermilk. These are popular pancakes at restaurants like Perkins or Country Kitchen, places that have breakfast menus. They normally feature a buttermilk pancake. All right, that's good, and our skillet should actually be, nope, not hot. We're gonna come back in a sec here when our pan here is hot. I thought I had turned it on, but I didn't. Are you recording?
Yes.
Hello, welcome back to Cooking with the Newells. Right now we're going to be doing a couple of things. First, we're going to be heating up our syrup, okay? This is real maple syrup. We bought it in Cedar Rapids, Iowa at an Aldi's there. We don't have an Aldi's in our town. I'm going to put some syrup into our bowl here, into our container, and then I'm going to throw it in the oven where our bacon is staying warm. That should be enough to make us some breakfast. So I'm just going to throw it in here. in here you can see this is our plate with bacon. Got it a little overdone on accident. The first batch anyways. Okay, so now we're moving on to our pancakes. Can you guys please keep it down over there, audience? The audience is getting a little out of hand. Wesley, can you take that from Elsa, please? All right, so we're back over here at the cooking corner, and the recipe says to use half cups. I think we're gonna cut that down to quarter cups as our, Mama, can you please stop? Thank you. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and put in our quarter cups into our hot pan. You want this around medium heat. Now these pancakes should fluff up pretty good. We're going to go ahead and put 3 of them in here. And we're going to go ahead and watch them. What we're looking for on our pancakes is extreme bubbles. So once you see a lot of bubbles coming through, now these with the baking soda and baking powder should rise quite a bit. So these are going to be nice fluffy pancakes, okay? That buttermilk is kind of the sharp, would be the sharp smell that's associated with them. So when you smell them, you smell kind of a real sharp smell. Hard to describe the. You know what? We're gonna pause. We'll be right back. Okay. Hello. Welcome back to Cooking with the Newells. All this audience noise is getting pretty intense. All right. Anyway, so my pan here was just a little too hot. We'll be right back. All right. So we're back cooking here at the cooking corner. And we're going to go ahead and take off our first round of pancakes. I had the pan just a tiny bit too hot. These should be more golden brown than black, but this is very acceptable. I would eat this. I would and will eat this. So we're going to go ahead and give our audience our first taste of our pancakes here. Oh man, they smell delicious. Just delicious. They actually smell just like they do at Perkins. This is great. Okay, so Perkins is a very popular place here to eat. They specialize in breakfast all day. So you can get eggs, pancakes, omelets, all kinds of stuff. Here's our pancakes looking delicious. We're going to go ahead and give these to our audience and see how they like them. We're going to top them with peanut butter, which is already on our table, probably honey, and then some real maple syrup.
Action.
We've had some trouble with the camera today. That's why we keep giggling about that. Anyways, so we're back here at the cooking corner. And we're just about ready to flip this second round of pancakes here. And then we're going to put them all in the oven and save them for the camera, the sexy assistant, and myself. You can see them starting to bubble up around here. That means that they're getting ready to flip. We're going to go ahead and flip one and see how it looks. Now the top side is going to be really battery, so it's going to be, you have to make this flip fairly quickly. There we go. And this is actually good. Now, cast iron doesn't heat evenly. It's one of the properties of cast iron. So that's why you see golden brown over here, and then you see not golden brown over here. We don't really care about that. We're not concerned about it at all. If you cooked right in the center, you would have golden brown all the way around. See, this one here is more on the burner, so it actually is more evenly distributed there. We prefer cast iron just because of the health benefits of it. All right, so we're also cooking bacon over here. We've had that going the whole time. Bacon, the key to cooking that, obviously, is slow. Slow cook bacon. We cook ours on the stove. My parents cook theirs in the oven, actually. They put it on cookie trays or cookie drying trays. Something like this. And then they put that on a pan and just let it bake. At 375 for, I don't know, 20 minutes on each side probably. It takes a while. But it is very delicious bacon doing it that way. So these pancakes are probably already ready to come off. Pancakes cook very quickly. There you go. Delicious. All right, and we'll be back with how we decorate them and in just a little bit here. Are we recording? Mm-hmm. All right, we're done with the bacon here. My family likes their bacon a little underdone, and I like mine a little on the more done side. So the ones on the bottom are a little bit more done, and some of those will be for me. I'm not going to eat all of them, of course. I'll probably have 2 or 3 pieces today. We got our bacon thick cut, and everyone else kind of likes chewy bacon. So that's what we're doing here. Again, we're going to go ahead and set this in our oven. It'll continue cooking there just a tiny bit while the rest of the pancakes are going. The thing with pancakes is you got to keep an eye on them because you definitely don't want them overdone. Now these are real fluffy. You can see just how fluffy they are. That's because of the baking soda and baking powder makes them rise. We're going to keep those in our oven until we're done here. And we've got about, we've got probably 2 more. We're running out of batter quickly. Hey, just going to share with you a quick tip. What we did on this last set of pancakes here was we took some butter, threw it in the pan, and let that sizzle around for a little bit, and that's actually what's going on the side of this pancake here is butter. It's going to give it a little bit richer flavor. This is what my wife had wanted me to do with her pancakes. Just another quick comment here. You don't want to be pushing your pancakes down, so you don't want to be flattening them. They should be fluffy and there should be air inside of them. That's what the baking powder and baking soda does, is it makes them rise like that. So don't be patting them down. Right now I'm just touching them. I'm not actually pushing down at all.
Ready?
All right, here we are. It's probably an hour later actually. So we started this adventure an hour ago and now we're ready to eat. We've got our table made. This is the last pancake. I just made a big one. I'm just going to eat one first and then I'll probably have 2 more. I decorate it with, or I top it with peanut butter. And then I'm going to put a tiny bit of honey in here. My dad actually has bees, so we get honey from him. But this is not his honey. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of honey on there. If your honey ever gets like this, you can always throw it in the microwave and make it soft again, but we're not really big fans of the microwave. Then here's our syrup, put that on, and should have a delicious pancake here. I haven't tasted them yet. Hope they're not as bad as the ones that you had. That's good.